right, Butch, I need to ask you, have you written a book or chronicled any of what you've investigated, perhaps a website?
We have it on the website. What we try to do is we have a newsletter every month, and we try to put stuff in there regarding what we're doing and what we're investigating and into a newsletter-type format, so everybody's welcome to look at it. And if they have any questions, we have a Contact Us page. They can send us an email, and we'll have somebody get back to them within 24 hours. Our average right now is about 50 to 65 minutes. So we do real well.
Well, your average is going to get spoiled tonight. Can you give us an address or something?
Yep. They can get me direct by my email, which is Butch221 at djazz, DEJAZZD.com, or my assistant director, which is John Bainbridge, and his is CCIJohn2 at Comcast. I believe it's .com. Yes, and our website is www.paufo.com, and we have somebody will get back to them right away. Like I said, we usually answer pretty quick. And I'm sorry, that Comcast is .net, not .com.
Yeah, I thought it was .net. Oh, okay. Well, judging from the way the phone lines are boiling tonight, you're going to get a lot of response.
I've got over 100 emails so far.
I'm sure you do. So again, give your website again.
www.paufosearch.com.
Okay. Let's go to Denver, Colorado, and Jeremy, you're on the air.
Hey, Art, how are you doing?
Fairly well, thank you.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I was calling to give a little heads up to the guy that called about the buzzing in his back. Mm-hmm. And I've detected the same kind of thing. It's in my left rib, and I'm just kind of giving him a point of, I don't think he's got to the bad part yet. So the triangle on his back is pretty much like a cupping technique. If anybody knows what that is, it's a therapeutic technique to, like, take fluids out of your back from if they're being put under when this is happening, and they're probably injecting him with something and then taking the fluid back out of his back. But the way I detected it was with a nonlinear junction evaluator, and you can only detect the antenna. And the antenna is in your spine, and you'll get a second harmonic down your spine, and then you'll get a third harmonic in your lower spine. No one probably knows what that is, but you have to talk to a TSCM agent, which is a short for Technical Surveillance Countermeasures. And the machine wasn't invented, the one that can be used, because the original version wasn't strong enough. And they put out a military version, which is not available to purchase.
Would a gauze meter do the same?
I'm not sure. I just kind of went out, and because I knew that the hospital thing was just a waste of time. So I went out and tried to find something that would detect a non-radiating device. Uh-huh. And just by chance, I tracked down this, and the guy that was showing me the civilian model, he had the military model, and then we just scanned my back. And you'll find the device is actually not going to be detectable because it must be shielded by stainless steel, because that's what radio frequencies will just reflect off the stainless steel. But because it's a mechanical device, you have to have the antenna to activate it, right?
Right.
So it's in your spine, and sorry, I'm just kind of.
So that's all right. So that's the vibration that he felt.
Well, they turn it on, but the problem is that it's an infusion pump, and they can inject him with it, and that it'll be attached to his spine. And if they do inject him with it, he has to use. If he can't get a cupping, he can just use a vacuum cleaner, and it'll just put the hose right on your back, and it'll just suck it right up to the skin. Because if they inject him, it's going to be like it feels like they poured like radioactive waste in your spine.
Okay, that sounds pleasant. But you also suggested a magnet.
Yeah, a magnet or a gauze meter. A magnet will pull it to the surface also. Because the ones that we've seen through Dr. Lear's stuff, they've all been really very, very just under the top layers of skin. I mean, so they're they're almost at the point where they're visible in some cases, depending on the person's complexion. But a couple, and any X-ray will pick it up. Any X-ray will pick it up. A magnet. Placing a magnet over it, and you can move it around. So if it's at your ankle, and you can move it up 2 inches with a magnet, then you have.
That is so weird.
Yeah,
yeah, very weird. Joe in Berkeley, California, you're on the air.
Art, a pleasure to talk to you. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I know I'm going to sound like a nut, so I apologize. But back in 1963 in Bergen County, New Jersey, on a rural road, I was parked with my girlfriend who had a couple of traits, one of which was she was a trance medium, which I was a little lukewarm on myself. But we were smoking a cigarette, and as we looked out through the trees, there was sort of a glow behind the trees, but it was sort of a funny glow in that if you looked directly at it, you really couldn't see it, but if you looked away from it, you could. Anyway, she says to me, they want you to get out of the car, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So anyway, I get out of the car, and I'm looking around in the sky, and as I'm looking, I brush against something about mid-thigh, and at the exact same time that I brushed against something, I heard something go through my head, and it said, compressed gas, 2 valves. And, of course, this means absolutely nothing to me. I looked down, and there wasn't anything there. I thought perhaps there might be a bush that I brushed into, but there was nothing there. I got back in the car, and then we drove for probably maybe 2 or 3 miles, and all of a sudden the hair in the back of my head stood up, and I got very, very frightened. I pulled over, and I stopped, because in my pocket in that exact location, I had a gas cigarette lighter, which, in fact, would be compressed gas, 2 valves. It's not exactly the way I would describe a cigarette lighter. But anyway, I wasn't abducted. I didn't see any loss of time. But I did have something happen there, which I thought was quite unusual.
No, very unusual, very interesting, and that would be the way somebody technically would describe a lighter.
Sure.
Fascinating.
Well, the first time I ever heard that one, but that's
the first time I've heard it, too.
Yeah, that's something there.
Okay. Kelly, St. Paul, Minnesota, I guess?
Mr. Bell, good afternoon or good morning, wherever you may be. It's great to hear you again.
Thank you.
I just had a question for Mr. Witkowski. Thank you for your work. I'm former military. For the past 13 years, I've worked law enforcement, security. I know you just gave your contact information, and thank you for doing so. But for our brothers in blue, or desert khaki, for that matter, that have experienced things that we would like to report, and just for us, but for your listeners, Art, that may be on the fence about what they believe regarding this phenomenon. But where can they go to read some of these accounts from what they may consider to be a more official source?
Well, being a former Marine and a law enforcement officer, I'll tell you this: if they get their email to me and tell me what they're looking for, I'll put them on the right path, or I'll get the right information to them, and that's a fact.
I wouldn't think there would be a lot of official information about this at all. In fact, I would doubt there's any.
There's a couple things, but they're so outdated, and then you start talking about Majestic 12, which is another.
Yeah, let me put it this way: at least anything that we'd be able to read.
Yeah, anything that I could put in somebody's hands to help them find what they're looking for, or find what they're looking for. We have our own database, and I have access to a couple other databases, and